Are you curious about cannabis concentrates? Today, we'll teach you the basics, what they are, how they're made, and the best ways to consume them. But before we do, today's video is brought to you by RealDGC.com. If you want to connect with our private community of premium growers, get grow tips from some of the best growers around the world, and get access to exclusive Dude Grow Show content, membership is free, and you can become a DGC producer if you want to help support the value that we bring you here. Head on over to RealDGC.com and get signed up today. All right, back to the show. All right, let's get into this, Scotty. This is my weak points here, concentrates. So I'm gonna listen up, man. Let's get into it. First off, the different types there is.
Yeah, man. First off, we're having this hash bash in a few months, so we need to get you up to speed, dude. You're a flower guy. I'm into a lot of concentrates here, man. So come on, I'll give you the crash course. Ready?
Yes.
All right, rosin or resin, man. Rosin. No, first thing we got to distinguish the two, I think, main groups would be rosin, which is squeezed heat and pressure. I got a rosin press behind me right there. And then there's resin. And resin is BHO, is a type of resin, and that is using extracts. So
why do they got to have them so close? One letter off. I mean, just make it a little easier on me.
I know, right? Ask the marketing people. But rosin is squeezed. You remember that? And then resin is like the BHO and stuff like that. So a lot of people like rosin because it's so pure. It's just heat and pressure doing it. But
solventless. I know this.
It's solventless. Thank you. That's the nomenclature. But man, I love BHO. I get live resin or resin, and it is absolutely delicious. I will say with the solvents, they're able to clean it up a bit more. There's a few things they're able to do, a few more things they're able to do to it to make it into a better product.
All right. What about the lives? I hear lives.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? Bring me in.
As a grower, I love live because it means you don't have to trim. Live is, they call it fresh frozen. And for rosin, I know for live rosin, you make bubble hash out of it. You'll take, instead of, how you're supposed to dry and cure your weed, and then you're supposed to do it correctly to preserve those terps. Well, when you are drying and curing cannabis, those terps, when you go and you smell the drying room and it smells, that's because those terpenes, some of them are volatilizing off. You're trying to keep it to a minimum, but they're still volatilizing off. When you cut that plant and then freeze it immediately, you are preserving all those terpenes. So the idea is then if you make hash out of that, bubble hash out of it, it's always been frozen. So all those terpenes were frozen onto the trichome heads, and that's what you're going to make your hash with, and that's what you're going to make your rosin with. So therefore, it hasn't had any time you harvested a live plant. That's why they call it live.
What about, Grandma, can you show this live resin? I will say, the smell that comes off that stuff. Yeah, there's the goop. Is as strong as like opening up some of my wife's like essential oil bottles. Like it definitely, you don't smell anything like that typically as strong with just flower. So I do admire that.
Yeah. I mean, and what do you think your wife's essential oils are? They're filled with terpenes. So we don't let the terpenes volatilize off. Remember, when you're smelling something, when you're smelling your drying room, those are terpenes that are volatilizing off. It's not magic. They're volatilizing off and going into your nose. So yeah, by keeping everything frozen and making hash with it while it's frozen, you're keeping them from volatilizing off.
So that's a pretty specialty process, specialty equipment. Everybody is familiar with bubble hash, though. It isn't. And almost anybody can make bubble hash. Everybody can make bubble hash at home, and it's solventless. So yeah, that is just, go ahead.
It's the first half of live rosin. So absolutely, you can make live bubble. And all that means is you're not you're not drying your plants. You're taking that, you're freezing it immediately. You're washing that in the bubble hash. And then the idea, I forgot about this, with live is then you have to dry it. So when you dry it, you don't want those terpenes to volatilize off. during the drying process of your bubble hash. So that's when they put it in those freeze dryers. Live means that it was fresh frozen. It was harvested fresh and frozen. And then it was dried after it was turned into hash. It was dried in a freeze dryer. The whole idea of it is a freeze dryer keeps it under a vacuum. You want to keep those terpenes from volatilizing off so you get that insane quality like you've got right over there, dude.
So before we move to the next point, is it fair to say that typically, I guess, bubble hash is going to be on the lower end? I see that bubble hash is 48% THC, whereas the live resins and rosins and BHOs, those get up there, 70 percentile in THC concentration.
Yep. Okay. You're squeezing them more pure as you go, but there are so many people that make great bubble hash that is in the 40%. They make dabbable, clean bubble hash, and I guess it will mess up your nail a bit more. But yeah, there's really great quality bubble hash out there for a lot of people. They don't even need to go, squeeze the rosin and all that stuff. Just enjoy the good bubble.
Let's talk about the consistency and concentrates. Now, I'm learning today as there's different types of BHO products.
There's all different stuff, man. There's Man, I don't know. I'm trying to think, but it has to do with the consistency of it. They used the first thing was diamonds and sauce, and diamonds are these pure THC crystals, and then the sauce would be the terpenes, and they would reintroduce those back, and they would make diamonds and sauce. And I hated that consistency. You would have to smush the diamonds, and sometimes they would whatever. I just hated that consistency. But they had. You know what the first one was before even diamonds and sauce? Do you remember Shatter? Anybody remember Shatter here, man?
Shatter in the pizza box, baby.
Yeah, that was like a piece of wax paper, a parchment. Look, somebody remembered Shatter, and you would just blast BHO, and that's what would come out. I mean, that was the first extract I ever had.
I like it.
And so
usually a lot of Shatter. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. It just has to do with workability also. So like that Shatter, you're going to crack that. You're going to try to get a little bit of a dab. It'll go all over the place. It's just not the best to work with. And then the terpenes, it's not holding a crazy amount of terpenes. And that's when you go into the waxes and the batters and those type of things. I don't know if we have any pictures of them or whatever, but it looks like you open up like a jar of car wax or something like that. And it's just a much more consistent, consistent product.
Interesting. With all of these, I presume the goal is people like, obviously I'm a flower power guy. I usually smoke flower. Concentrates are definitely said that because of the THC concentration in them. You can take such a smaller amount though, and get rather elevated. Is one reason they can be convenient. Instead of coughing down on like a whole J, you can get there a lot quicker. So that is one good aspect of using them.
Hey, dude, one last thing when it comes to any of these consistencies, any of these extracts, it is they can reintroduce things. I was talking about with BHO, they can use diatomaceous earth as a filter that they use, but they can do things to clean up the color, to reintroduce terpenes and new flavors in there. That's how you get sometimes grape ape that tastes like grapes. It's not supposed to be like that. So just be really careful when you're getting extracts. Make sure you're not getting anything that's been refortified with, grape terpenes, or, they should be terpenes from cannabis derived terpenes that they're reintroduced.
I like it. Good tip. Yeah, it's an interesting arena. It's not like stuff is going through FDA stringent approval. Different states have different rules, different testing, and we've already covered a lot of that. So let's talk about how to consume this stuff, man. Usually it's going to be a type of, go ahead.
I'm giving you man. It's the time we consume. I'm ready, bro. Let's go.
Okay, we'll start off with carts because there's so many damn carts out there, and I just don't I don't need another battery-powered plastic thing going to my mouth. That's one reason I'm kind of turned off on them. Right. But vape carts, that's what I'm talking about. Vape pens, carts for vape pens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call them a necessary evil, but they are great, man. They're convenient. I had to talk to my friend. I'm like, no, I know they're convenient, but don't hit them on the airplane. Okay, man? But seriously, they're so low pro for someone that wants to travel or just be able to keep some cannabis on them most of the time. Vape pen is great, but that's a general term. I'll tell you, me and Banner were hanging out a couple of days ago. We're talking about this, and he goes, dude, think about the cartridge, the actual cartridge that they use. You can get a 70-cent one on Alibaba or a $5 one. And the difference is when you hit it, what comes off the metals? What's the quality of the metal that's being heated? Man, it could be a very big deal. So I always shop on brand if I'm doing vape carts.
Next would be one you use, right? A nectar collector, which is just basically a pen that has a heated up tip that you inhale right off of.
Yeah. This is what is this? The Dino by Yocan. But man, this one has some water in it, believe it or not. But what is the one? The Luca, $40. You can find them anywhere. That is a good e-nectar collector. It delivers a pretty strong hit. You bring yourself a couple grams in your e-nectar collector, and you got a way to get good and medicated on the go.
I will say, when you say that good and medicated, for me, it is all concentrates, and they haven't all been bad, but the high that I get from concentrates is definitely different than the high I get than flower. Usually I enjoy a high from flower better, but it depends on what you're trying to achieve for sure. So keep that in mind.
Yes. I mean, I've got a lot of questions about that. I want to ask the commenters. I want to ask the audience there. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about it like a dab rig, right? Like even like I have an e-nail dab rig, a dab rig with a torch, where you take the torch hit, gets you so high. I mean, it's so much.
Those have messed me up, dude. Like, Go outside. I am not good high. I am paranoid high. They're coming for me.
I could do this 10 times. I get to 20 hits off the vape pen, and call my mom, call my accountant, But yeah, there's something so different about it. And I would love to know in the comments what y'all think that could be.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know for sure. Give us some comments on this video. Comment below. Do you enjoy the high of flower or concentrates better? Also, what are your favorite devices for consuming concentrate? Comment below.
Yeah. And if you like this video, come on, hit the like button. Smash that subscribe button. Smoke up and share this video with another grower you know. And check out the other couple videos YouTube's recommending.